This is exactly what we do to scale an 8-figure brand with email marketing. In fact, this brand alone is consistently generating over $1 million a month from email marketing. And we work with a handful of brands that are generating 8 figures in revenue. And this is exactly our framework for helping them scale with profitable retention engines. Today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you exactly all the things that we look at and how we improve to make sure we're squeezing as much revenue out from our email list, because that is one of the most profitable channels for an e-com brand. We will cover deliverability, flow strategy, sign up forms, campaign strategy, segmentation, all the things that's necessary to really take your email marketing to the next level. Before we talk about the sexy things like strategy and sending emails, one of the most important things that you need to look at as a brand is your email deliverability. What you want to do is you want to jump into your Klaviyo account and look at your deliverability score. For this brand specifically, it is currently at good, which is a really good range. We want to be at least above a 60 at this rating, because we can see open rate, click-through rate, bounce rate, unsubscribe rate, and spam complaint rate. Now, Klaviyo has been really funky with click-through rates. In fact, we haven't really been using this as a good baseline of what performance is, because click-through rates have been all over the board lately, but you can see here that this brand is considered in a good score at 77. So really what you want to look at here is your open rate, as well as bounce rate, unsub rate, and spam complaint rate. This tells you the whole picture of, is your emails actually going to the primary inbox? Are people actually opening them, or if they're going to spam? Now, if you jump into your account and you see that your emails are going to spam, and this is kind of in a poor status, then what we're going to want to do is we're going to warm up your list before sending a lot more campaigns. You can actually see with this brand, we've been slowly chipping away and working at deliverability. When we started with them, they're at a 65, and then we slowly got them all the way up to a 77. Now, how did we do this? One, we want to make sure we're sending to an engaged list. Now, if your emails are going completely to spam, you want to start warming it up by first sending to a super engaged segment of your list. So you want to go into your segments. You might want to create a 7-day click or a 30-day click. That's a high intent group of customers, and start sending your email campaigns to that list. Over time, you can expand that segment out to eventually, ideally 90-day opens, where they will get the majority of your emails. But the issue is if you keep sending to people and it goes to spam, or they're not opening, the inbox providers like Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook are going to be giving you a bad score, basically pushing you to the spam box. And you do not want to be in the spam box. If you are in the spam folder or even promotions folder, then we're not being viewed by our customers, and everything I'm going to cover today will be irrelevant because we're not even landing in the inbox. So next, let's talk about flow strategy. Now, what really separates 6-figure brands to 8-figure brands is the flow strategy. Because an 8-figure brand is getting so much more traffic every single day, we're able to create more advanced flows and able to A/B test these a lot faster. Now, as you can see right here, we want to make sure that we have the essential flows set up. Now, the main flows that we set up is the welcome flow. As you can see here, you can see abandoned checkout, you can see abandoned cart, you can see another abandoned checkout, you can see browse abandonment. Now on this screen, you can see all the flows that we built out for this brand. You can see abandoned cart, we can see abandoned checkout, browse abandonment. We have a quiz flow, replenishment reminder, site abandonment, welcome flow. These are all the flows that we 100% need to have set up in the account. And you can check out on the right-hand side, the last 30 days, how much these flows have generated for this brand. You can see 14,000, 26,000, 6,000, 49,000, 36,000, the list goes on. Now, usually the flows are the most important thing that we focus on at the beginning, because these are kind of a set it and forget it. Once we get these built out, what we're going to be doing on a monthly cadence and just improving and split testing these flows. All right, third is campaign cadence. Now, it's very important that you have a consistent campaign cadence up and running in your brand's account. Now, usually what we shoot for is about 3 to 5 emails per week. Now, it really depends. And of course, through promotional periods like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we're sending upwards of 2 to 3 emails per day. Now, throughout the year, usually want to be sitting around that 3 to 5. Usually for an 8-figure brand, we're sending more like 5 emails a week to the list so we can squeeze out as much revenue through this list. Now, these campaigns don't necessarily go to everyone, but I'll show you what it actually looks like behind the scenes and how we approach campaign sending. So on this screen, you can see all the campaigns that we recently sent out for this brand. Now, it's very important. You can see in the gray text underneath the title of these emails, you can see all the segmentation. Now, with an 8-figure brand, we're doing a lot more and being a lot more intentional about who exactly we're sending these emails to. Now, usually what I recommend for most brands, you want to send to a 90-day engaged list. But when we start to send specific customer emails, or if we want to send VIPs, we want to make sure we're sending to specific segments on a list. Now, this is where things get a lot more advanced for an 8-figure brand, because their list is so big that we want to have heavier segmentation and speak exactly to where our customers are in the journey. You can see here that usually we're sending to 100 to 60-day engaged, to 30-day engaged. We're sending to specific purchasers of specific products. The bigger your list is, the bigger your brand is, the more segmentation you can do with the campaigns that you send out. Now, what I really really recommend for all e-commerce brands is that you get well ahead of your campaign sending. So what we do at TVG is we map out a full calendar, and we want to make sure is we're 2 to 3 weeks ahead of our email marketing. So usually we write all the emails out, then we get them into design. We use Figma for design, get them all outlined on the Figma page, then get them uploaded into Klaviyo. It's really important to say a couple weeks ahead. You don't want to be sending emails last minute, especially with a brand of this size. There's a lot of preparation, a lot of offers, a lot of stuff that needs to be communicated. So the more you're organized, the better you can generate more results for your brand. Now let's talk about list growth. Now your sign up form is the #1 way that customers are going to opt into your email list. And with an 8-figure brand, we are constantly testing sign up forms. We do constant A/B tests to figure out how we can have the highest converting pop-up form. If you can see here, if we just look at these ones right here, these are the main ones that we are set up for the brand, right? We have the welcome pop-up for mobile and the welcome pop-up for desktop. As you can see here is that these have an extremely high conversion rate, 17.5%, 8.7%. And it's vital that you have a good offer so people will actually opt into it. One pop-up form that works extremely well is to give, $10 off, $25 off, and then have them select like what product they're interested in. So you can have almost like a quiz funnel for your pop-up form. That'll help you segment your list, but also increase the rate at which people are converting from this list. Make sure that you have a really compelling offer, maybe add a quiz funnel element to your sign-up form. Make sure you collect email and SMS. That's the components of a great sign-up form. Now let's talk about more advanced flows. So we have the essential flows set up. We're sending consistent campaigns. Our deliverability is in a good spot. We have our sign-up form. Now, once it's all built out, we can start thinking about more advanced flows. Now, one of the big flows that we prioritize for this brand are subscription flows. So this brand's using Skio, as you can see on the left-hand side. These are all Skio flows that we set up. Now, these are behavioral based on Skio actions, right? So it's integrated with Skio, which is a subscription app. And basically we can have all these custom flows built out for new subscription created, out of stock items, skip subscription order. Now it's important to have all these flows built out because what we want to do with subscription programs, we want to mitigate churn. We want to keep customers on as much as possible. And that's the intention of these flows. If you don't have all these flows set up and you have a subscription program, you're likely leaving revenue on the table because you're letting people just fall through the cracks. So here's an example. You can see all these custom, more advanced flows for Skio, which is a subscription program. There are other subscription programs that you can do this for, but Skio is the one that we strongly recommend. Once you have this whole system set up, you can now constantly test and iterate, right? So once you have the essentials, what I always recommend for any brand is have the basics set up, have your flow set up, send consistent campaigns. Then once you have traction, especially the bigger your list, the more in the weeds you can get with split testing, as crazy as split testing subject lines, split testing different designs in the flows. You can split test things. Literally, you can A/B test a lot faster when you are a bigger brand, which will yield incremental results, right? And with a brand of this size, those small 1% improvements are massive. That's tens of thousands of dollars of revenue for a brand if you do A/B tests. And you can see with this brand how this system all works. For this month specifically, we generate over $1 million of revenue through email and SMS, heavily indexed on campaigns, which is something we're trying to tackle, which is increase the flow revenue relative to the campaign revenue. Usually I like to have that around 50-50 split, but 60-40 is not too bad. Now, this is the real playbook that we build out for brands that are doing 7, 8+ figures. And this is vital because email truly is the most profitable channel. What we do at TVG is we are holistic e-commerce growth partners. So we know that we're spending a lot of money on ads. We want to make sure our email and SMS channels are dialed in because this is the most profitable channel. You've already paid so much. You've already worked so hard to get these emails. You need to be making sure you're doing everything possible to generate massive revenue from your email list. Now, if you want me to personally audit your account and give you exact framework and roadmap on how to take your email and SMS and your whole entire Shopify brand to the next level, then I'll leave a link down below to book your free core growth audit. If you'd like to see a video that's a training that goes over our entire e-commerce growth system, that video will pop up on the screen here. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. I'm dropping new e-commerce trainings every single week, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.